Welcome guys, my name's Carrie-Anne and today's video is going to be of a character design of a medieval steampunk sorceress. Today's video is going to be a two-parter. First part where I show you the sketching process, second part is going to be colouring in. So to begin with, I use my little sketchbook which is here to design my character. So to begin with, I actually just throw down some ideas, different faces, different things I like. So like here I like the clock and the feathers, and I like the whole hat thing. I actually really like this hair as well, and on this one I like this monocle. I really like that idea, so I keep that, and I like the cogs coming out of the clock area, and I really like the clock on her as well. Now on this page I've just thrown down some ideas for different poses. I did have a lot more, but I get really frustrated with myself and rub them out when they don't quite look right, so you can't see some of them. I can, because they're very faint, but they're not picking up on the camera. Next I draw out the head quite big, which is here. So like here I draw the feathers and keep the feathers in the hat, and just basically draw it out big. And then I draw out the basic concept of how I want her to look, clothes wise. Then I get my big sketch pad out, which is an A4 sketch pad, and I basically start sketching. Here I'm just putting in the skeleton frame, which I then go blocking out with the big parts, so like the rib cage, the pelvis, and then blocking out the different muscles on the legs and the arms and the boobs. Can't forget the boobs for a girl. So yeah, so here you can see I'm just blocking out the arms, putting some fat on them, and then drawing the heads. Although I'm supposed to be blocking out, I kind of get ahead of myself a little bit and start putting in some detail. I always do it. So here I'm just putting in the eyes and the monocle, making sure she's got some pretty eyelashes. I really like how this face turned out. Just putting the hat in, which I decide needs to be slightly bigger. Sorry, my hand's in the way. I'm just drawing the clock and the cogs here and the feathers. So yeah, I think I actually make the hat bigger. I just think I decide it's not quite big enough to fit all the hair in that she's going to have. Yeah, here we go. Then I draw her hair. Which again, I really get ahead of myself here. I'm quite impressed with this one. Basically all I'm using here is just a red pencil. I actually nicked it off my daughter. It's very nice to work with, and I tend to sketch in red to begin with. That thing that you just saw was my electronical rubber that I use to rub out small details. Here I'm just sketching in the hands, which are one of the things I really hate drawing. There's three things I don't like drawing. Oh, and here I've just rubbed the legs out because they're too short, stubby. Just finished blocking in the clothes, but I really hate drawing hands, hair and clothes. They're the three things I really struggle with. So, and I always make sure that my pencils is very sharp, so I have a nice point to it to get some nice lines going on. And here I'm just putting in the folds of the skirt, just so you can see that her leg is actually up. And then I'm just blocking in some shading so I can see where I want the shading later on when I come to colour, which will be part 2. I can work it out. And here I'm just putting in the hands, the second hand. At the back of this sketchbook I have lots of sketches of hands that I've done, and I refer back to it when I'm struggling to try and get a nice shape, some nice poses. I can draw hands large, but putting them on a small scale I really struggle with. So yeah, so I actually think I go back and redraw them after I finish filming this part 1. I don't like how they look, and I actually extend that sleeve as well, I believe, at some point. So here, what you can't really see is I'm putting in the electric, because she's a sorceress, she can control the element of lightning. So here I'm just using my mechanical pencil just to go over all the lines, clean them up a bit, It also helps when I come to trace the picture onto my card for colouring in. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say really, for this bit anyway. And if you got any suggestions on anything you'd like me to draw, please leave a comment. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Just let this run for a minute. Here I'm just blocking in the lace, and I did actually forget to put in the knot at one point. Oh, there you go, see that I've extended the sleeve there. I'm not quite sure when I did that, but I did. Right, mechanical pencil is just a really cheap one from one of my local shops. So here this is where I'm tracing using my light board. Basically I'm just tracing it onto very, very cheap cards that I've got lying around. I do need to get some different cards because it does bleed a little bit. It's not overly bad, but my inks do bleed, which could, I suppose, be a problem, but it's manageable at the moment. I will at some point get some decent card. Try that out instead, see if I still get the same bleeding. So once I've finished tracing all the lines, I will then go over it with my fine liners. There's 2, possibly 3 that I mainly use, which are my 0.05s, my 0.1, which you can see here, which is what I do most of my drawing with, most of the outlining with. I normally use the 0.05 for the fine work. Here we go, like the eyes. And I do use it on the feathers and the cogs later on as well. But yeah, I'm basically just tracing over the pencil lines, and then so here, like this, I'm using 0.5 again, 0.05, sorry. I'm just rubbing out the clocks here because I don't like the fact they're not very circular. So I have my daughter's compass that she uses for maths, and I have an absolute nightmare with it. It doesn't want to work, just to get a nicer circle. And I'm using that very fine one again, the 0.95, just to do the ribbon on her dress. Just going very carefully here just to make sure it's all nice and neat. And then I'll just go back to the 0.1 to finish outlining the rest of it. As I don't have very, very dark marker pens, I actually do some cross hatching on this one, just so I can get some darker shades later on when I come to colour in. Just doing the cross hatching for all of it, and that's pretty much the whole thing done. Just rubbing out the pencil lines here, and that's it. So hope to see you in part 2, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you again soon. Bye.